Let's start this conference. Yesterday we had a very nice training session. We were about 40 people because we decided to limit the number of attendees. Today we will be talking about ntop, mostly not from us who are developing the tool, but from our community. And I would like to give this prize to a winner of the Capture the Flag that Ivan, that's at the end of the room, has organized. So we are looking for a winner. Yesterday we have shown the Capture the Flag URL. I want to show it again today. This is it. So if you didn't register, it's a good time to do it. And this one is a way to assess your skills, and it's also a way to involve you in this group. Okay, because today we're talking about software, open source software that was created many years ago, 25 years ago, and you are here simply because of that. So in essence, just to give you a quick overview of what we have done, we had a few meetings. Okay, last year it was in Milan, but the 20 years of ntop was here in this place. And the reason why we are here is because ntop started here. This time we decided to run this conference in English, so we have international speakers, and we have people that are coming from far away. So thank you for traveling so long. And it's a complete self-funded event, so we want to keep this self-funded. Okay, so if you want to buy licenses, if you want to, it's a good way to support us, but this is not the important message. The important message is that we would like to gather our community from time to time. We would like to hear from you. And to improve. We have many users that are using the community edition, and this is very nice for us to know from when people are solving problems, real problems, life problems with our tools. Because many times we are working and we don't know if really what we do makes sense. Okay, if it has an impact, and so it's a reward to know that people sometimes are happy to report us not just bugs and things that are not working as usually people do, but also when the software is effective and allow them to solve real problems. We don't know yet where we run the next conference. Probably next year, probably beginning of 2025. So we are looking for a location. Eventually, it can be even outside of Italy. It's not really relevant. So if some of you wants to volunteer, say, okay, why don't you come here? We can do that. We are also thinking to bind this meeting to another conference, but unfortunately after COVID, there are not really many places that we have in mind, okay, that we can use. So if some of you has ideas, it's very welcome to let us know, or offer a location. We will be very happy. We plan to do it again in English because it makes sense. ntop was started here many years ago, but it is not belonging to this place. It was started in 1988 when I returned here. Okay, I'm from Pisa. I went abroad, first to the UK and then to Switzerland. I spent some years there. I got my PhD there. And then I decided to come back here to the place I was born. And during those years, the University of Pisa was putting fibers around the town. This is a part of the map. You see this tower. So you know the place very well because you probably visited these days. And at that time I was back from Switzerland. I was looking for a job, an opportunity, also to continue doing things I was doing at IBM while doing my research. So I said, why not to do traffic analysis? Okay, here, and I started to do that. It was a totally different environment. We were talking about protocols that no longer exist. This was one of the popular ones. This was an exotic protocol. ntop was born simply because we had to find out who was the top user, of the link. That was measured in kilobytes. So you can imagine. And everything started simply because somebody asked me to do that. So I did it, and they were happy. End of the story, next project. I said, why do I have to leave on the table this project that from a point of view was kind of interesting? And then I started to create the open source version. So this is one of the early versions, as you can see. It was first of all still text-based, and then I wanted to create a user interface. In those days, it was a little bit complicated because there was Windows, Unix was a plethora of options like Motif. I don't know if you remember this type of things. So it was complicated to have one solution for everybody. So I said to myself, let's use the web that I used for my PhD. So I started to do that, and this was the very beginning of this long journey that brought us here. So we also have a private company that is self-funded with this work, but our roots are on GitHub. So where we have put the software, and the software does not belong to us. So we are just the developers, okay? But it is owned by you, by the community. So we have also contributors that are not working for ntop. For instance, the NDPI is a good example. That is Tony and Ivan here sitting in this room that are contributing a lot to them. And sometimes you see things that are moving simply because somebody had a problem just like us and wanted to find a solution and put the solution in the software. So today we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, so we thank you for being here today. And we want to give you an idea of why we are here. So first of all, it's good that this is something very European, let's say non-American, okay, where things happen in the last a few years, so in the duration of a summer. So it's more than 2 decades that we are in business, so we continue developing this software, and we would like to keep developing this software. Even if ntop one day disappears, I don't know, I hope not, but I'm sure that there will be somebody else who can do that. So this is the thing. So we want to pass the thing over. And we want to have something that is under our control. We don't want to let's say, use software that creates dependencies on what we do that can eventually be our death. So think about Twitter, just to give an example. Think about the Apple Store or Google, that one day you receive an email saying, okay, you're out of business because we have decided to change our policy. So we want to do everything, from the ground up. Okay, we started with kind of drivers, the application drivers. It's probably a bit too much for a group of about 10 people, to be honest. But this has been our strength, because through the years we didn't have to stay in bed with a vendor, and so we have been free to innovate, to do whatever we liked without having to pay a ticket to anybody. So this was the good thing. And because of that, we are also vendor neutral and multi-platform. It means that we can run more or less everywhere. I mean, on the popular platform. From time to time, we receive contribution or inquiries about platforms that we didn't even know they exist. And this is a good pleasure for us to know that people are taking our code and bringing it to uncharted path that for us was relevant. So we also have companies that are helping us to live. Okay, so we have new companies since last year. So we had a lot of expansion in Asia, in particular in Korea. So we see people that have interest in doing that, and also some of my colleagues went recently in Mexico. So we have people from all around the world using the tool. In fact, the fact that we ran this event in Italy is simply because, as I said, especially this year, we were born here, so we have the headquarters here. But in general, it's hard to find a place that can have our users represented in a nice way. So I don't know what we'll do next. As I said, feel free to present us your ideas. But in general, we are not Italian. I mean, so we are here, but not really much. And this year you see that we have some brochures, so we have this partnership with Hosting Solutions. So we decided to revamp a little bit the concept of the end box, that is for those people that want to have a box, especially very high end, okay, 40, 100 gigabit, but not only that, is ready to go. So it means a solution that you don't want to invest time in optimizing the hardware, finding the right combination, especially when you do packet to disk, high-speed recording. So we have this new partnership, and we still have this partnership also with Minsever for the low-end solutions, the cost-effective, those that are below much less than 1,000 euro, that allow you to monitor an SME, a company. So for those that don't like software, like a ready-to-go solution, we also have that. Also last year we have introduced this professional training. And the next round will be soon, I think soon, November. And it's something that our community asks us because we understand that we try to do our best to communicate what we do, but sometimes this is not possible. And in particular, training. Yesterday we had a session that was, let's call it an informal training. Okay, it was not a real training. When we say training, we mean professional training. So it means that we go through all those arguments. If you go to our website, you will see them listed, and we go deep. Okay, with exercise. So we want to assess really your skills to see how we feel with our tools. And we also want to listen to you. In particular, if today you have questions, I would like you to come and approach us so we can discuss about that. Just to give you an idea also from the sales side, who is using our software professionally. So this is just our eShop, just to give you an idea. So if I have to tell you about Italy, because we are here, we just 5% for sales. So in essence, bad to say, but we can survive without this country. Okay, we cannot for sure survive without Germany or the US. Okay, just to make sure. And also talking about tools. And the most popular tool for us is ntopConf23, but it's very close to ntop that I presented yesterday. So there are two different tools that somehow represent us. We don't see listed those are pure open source like NDVI, of course. But as you can see, also the drivers are an important factor because they allow us, for instance, to be vendor neutral because it allows our software to run across a plethora of high-speed adapters. So these are the main things. This is it's a new kid in the block because it's 10 years old. This one is more than 20 years old. And this one is 15 to 20 years old too. And they are very, very ancient software. So let's give you a quick overview. Today I want to just give an introduction and I like to speak. What we have done last year. So first of all, I want to show you this ntop, that it's a software tab. So it means that it's a software tool that you can put on a remote host, this one in a place that it's hard to monitor, so where port span and tap, it's hard to do, and that allows us to send this traffic to a remote collector that creates a virtual interface. So if you have, let's say, IoT devices across the field and you want to send this data in an encrypted way, okay, in a safe way to a central location, this is the way to go. This one is very small and efficient. It has been integrated also in software containers. It can run also in environments with limited resources, such as a small router or for an IoT device. In particular, the IoT devices, the PLCs, the modern ones have containers. So we can have this in an ARM container. So can run on a PLC, and the PLC is sending the traffic in an encrypted way to a central location where we can inspect it with multiple applications. So multiple applications can use the same traffic, for example, Suricata, Wish, and of course our tools. And we can also send this traffic to Open vSwitch so that you can really mirror it and do typical things that you do with a real switch. It is integrated in our tools, so we have done that, so with no extra license, no extra cost necessary. So you can monitor your network also this way. So you can put this one, let's say, in southern Italy, in Germany, in France, and send the packet directly to you in real time, stream them. Okay, in real time, so that you can do that. It's fully compatible with Kubernetes, virtual machines, and so on. So it's OT friendly also, I would say. So this is the first tool. The second thing that we have done, and that will be described later this afternoon, is something we call smart recording. So you know that with our tools, we can move from alerts to flows to packets. So it means that when there's something wrong happening in your network, that you can be alerted by the problem, and then you can see the flows that have created the alert. But at the same time, you can go down the packet that have created the flows. And this is nice, but unfortunately, this sometimes takes too much disk space. We don't have enough disk space, so therefore we need to be more effective. In particular, so over the years we have added techniques such as, for instance, the ability that we call shunt, okay, to stop writing to disk the traffic that, for instance, is encrypted or it streams. Okay, shunt means that we write to disk the initial part of the communication. So, for instance, for TLS, where the encrypted traffic is negotiated, so we know the certificate and so on. But it doesn't make any sense to write the whole stream to disk because it's encrypted. Theoretically, it cannot be decrypted. So, if you want to use this ability, you can do that. And also, at the same time, we can index traffic in real time, up to 100 gigabit. Actually, with the new machine from Austin Solution, we can do 200 G full rate to disk, written and indexed. So that you can, for instance, say, okay, give me all the Zoom flows, okay? So not just IP port and so on, but really go at the layer 7 application. But however, as the network speed increases, the space shrinks because we are going faster and faster, so we cannot use the rotating drives anymore unless you are up to 40 gigabit. So it means we need some sort of compression. Compression means not to squeeze traffic, because traffic is already compressed on the internet today. Imagine streaming, okay? So there's nothing much to compress. But compressing in terms of cybersecurity, so it means we want to write to disk, those flows in packets belonging to those flows that are relevant for cybersecurity. So it means that there is something wrong with this flow. This is where smart recording comes from. So in essence, the idea is very simple. So we have our tool that analyzes the traffic while this process is writing into disk. We stay behind 10 minutes behind the traffic. So it means that we write in real time the traffic, but we analyze the traffic and we stay back in time. So if we understand that 10 minutes ago something started to become wrong with this host, we write to disk. So this guy isolated 10 minutes ago to disk. We take those pickups and we extract out of those pickups the flows that have created the problem. So in essence, being back in time in the extraction, this is writing in real time. So we are able to see the root cause from the beginning, okay? And this is a good thing because this allows us to have the first level of storage, everything, and the second level of storage that we call archive, that can store to disk those events. So it means that if your network is clean, you probably don't need anything. This will be empty. Otherwise, this will contain the data. It is not a super great idea or a patent, so it's not being used like that in surveillance cameras when there's motion detection. Okay, so motion detection is similar to this, but this is for the network. We have created a new UI for the Nbox. Okay, again, this is another open source project on GitHub. So the old one was deprecated. So we have a new one based on cockpit that is developed by Red Hat. It's an open source software for monitoring, these servers, and it's becoming a standard. So we have created this new UI that allows you to do things, for example, configuration. Okay, so you want to configure this limit and the path, typical things that you do on the command line that are pretty nasty to do. And of course, we have added also the notification. So this new Nbox allows you to send you, in this example, Telegram, an example when something goes wrong. So, for instance, the disk is running out of space, or something bad happens there. So we try to refresh, let's say, the user interface to make it more modern and more, let's say, close to modern, users that have mobile phones. We also have contributed to other open source projects. So this is an example of Suricat and Zik. So we are called Suricat and Zik on demand. So what is the use case? Let me start from the end. In essence, you have a fast network. Okay, I have to thank our friends at CS in Switzerland that allows us to develop that. So in essence, we have a fast network. Okay, we have a lot of traffic. The traffic is way too much for Suricat. Okay, and so it means that it means that it's impossible to analyze those tools unless you split the traffic into several hosts, and this will be very complicated. So what we have done, leveraging on NVIDIA ConnectX, so we have visualized the hardware. So it means that there are multiple applications that tend to get ring can open the adapter and replicate the traffic. So we have our tool ntopConf23 that is able to run at 100 gigabit, but it's analyzing the traffic. And when it analyzes the traffic, it sends to ntopNG this information that informs the driver about relevant flows that are creating problems. And so we insert in hardware, rules for duplicating this traffic and send it to Suricat. So through this path, in essence, we don't send to those tools all the traffic stream, but we send to those tools only the traffic that we believe is bad from the cybersecurity standpoint because there is approving an attempt. There are TLS certificates that don't match. Typical things that you don't expect to see. So thanks to this, it's possible now to use this IPS and LES at 100 or plus gigabit. Yesterday we were discussing that we are running a 400 gigabit network. Now this will be the next challenge. So this is another contribution to open source projects that are not for NTOP. We have also done some extension to monitoring OT and SCADA networks. So these are two examples. This for Modbus and for IEC. We use something we have called behavioral checks. So we monitor the traffic over time. We learn how it goes, and if there's something wrong, then we try to report it. And this is something that we have integrated recently that allows us to see, for instance, things like that. A problem, okay, next to the protocol, we say invalid function, and this will be the exception that was triggered. So in essence, we went down to Modbus traffic to understand. This is just an example for Modbus. When there is something wrong. So instead of analyzing, all this traffic with other traffic analyzer, so we look at the code. We have also done something that's probably close to what you're doing. So yesterday we have presented this in detail. So for instance, the monitoring of Zoom and Teams traffic. So we have extended the DPIT tool, the packet inspection library, and the analysis of RTP streams, so that we are able to understand the voice quality. And that, for instance, allows us to see what streams are happening on our network, what type of stream it is, screen sharing or video audio stream. And if you want to use our tools in line, and if you're running out of bandwidth, you can say, for instance, I don't want to see any video stream because we don't have enough bandwidth. So you can do Zoom, but you cannot Zoom video. I can only do Zoom out audio. Later this afternoon, you will see a presentation from Catchpoint that move this to the next level. It has integrated, with a much more complex system that allows you to understand this and much more than this. One of the last things I want to say is that our tools are programmable because Python is pretty popular. We have created this Python API that allows you to create other new checks, so new way to check your traffic. So this is an example. So this was an attack or a problem created by certain host. So for instance, you say if the source is one, the destination is one, and this is the end. So you try to get a certificate that it's very simple to create this type of things and trigger an alert that can be eventually sent to Telegram, for instance, and dump this flow to disk so that we can use it for the. And then we also open our stuff to new standards. This is, for instance, the Open API. So everything now REST-based, our friends from Check and K has pushed us to do that, and we have done it. And so we are compliant with this new standard. So you can use our tools from remote as a demo. Okay, so you don't have to see the API, but you use it as a sort of traffic analyzer. The last thing I want to say is that we have published a paper recently about blacklisting. And one of the things that we have realized is that the blacklists are regional, let's say mostly regional, and most of the blacklists that we use that are publicly available are not really representative of the problems we see in the network, because they're probably relevant in other countries, but not here, at least here in Europe. So we have studied them, so just to make this long story short, I have incorporated in ntopNG a prototype of that, so that it allows us to generate ourselves the blacklist. At the moment, this is an internal project, and the idea would be to create a way to feed ntop itself with blacklists that we generate. And contrary to the other blacklists we find on the internet, we would like to string the data, okay? We'd like to send the data with updates similar to VGP, what VGP does. So this is an ongoing project. We don't want to do it now, but this is something that we want to work on, I hope together, because it will be interesting to understand and to assess this type of technologies, at least in the network that we are monitoring. The last thing we'll discuss this afternoon is ntop Cloud. So we have moved ntop to the cloud. So we have also things of process visibility and users visibility, but I don't want to preview this too much. But if you are here in this afternoon, we'll discuss it. So just to complete, we don't want to talk much. Okay, now that's it. So I let the non-ntop people speak. But in the afternoon, I would like to talk about future directions. It would be important for us to have a feedback from you. And we would like to have suggestions and particular criticism. So we'll be distributing here some post-its that we would like you to use for adding, and we'll show later how to use them, adding ideas so we can put ideas on the blackboard. So try to understand what is wrong, has to be fixed, and where we should go. Okay? As I said, we are a community. If we would like to listen to you, it doesn't matter if you are a programmer because you probably have much more experience than us running a real network that we don't have. Okay? What you have. So we are here to exchange our experiences. And then the final thing, so in case somebody is interested, we are looking for talented people that are willing to work with us. We understand that networking or security is not a fascinating environment. It's not something you can show to somebody on your phone, but it's something that everybody's relying on it. Okay, if the network doesn't work, there is no internet. There are no cyber threats. There are no people, using the phone. You know the story, right? So, if somebody is interested, or if you know somebody, please ask to send us an email. Thank you very much.